Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. There are just over 60 hours left in this summer transfer window, and I really, really hoped, genuinely, and I had a little bit of belief after we signed Haaland, I hoped that Manchester United would not be left scrambling at the end of this window. But we definitely are. All right. Not just with the left back emergency signing as a consequence of Luke Shaw's injury, but we still haven't got the midfielder that we know we need. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this Manchester United midfield needs reinforcements. I'm going to speak about the final push, the final countdown, whatever you want to call it. Might just be 3 days of doing absolutely sweet FA. But I'm going to speak about Scott McTominay to Bayern Munich, which I saw yesterday, and I was like, yeah, all right, okay. And then it came out, and then it was a Telegraph that reported it as well, and the Times, and I was like, all right. So I'm going to take a look at those reports and the stories. We're going to speak about Dean Henderson, Bayern there. We're going to speak about Marc Cucurella agreeing personal terms yesterday. And Manchester United putting in the bid to get him on loan. Remember, on loan. We'll speak about that. We'll speak about the mounting injury problems at our club. And for genuinely, for me, it's the biggest concern ahead of a lack of finishing. I'll run through all of that. You're going to let me know what you think in the comments below. So get involved in the community chat, and I'll see who's down here from the member gang. Let's have a quick look. Chris Diet, how you doing? Watching from Australia, dude. We've got Clarity watching from Zambia. Good morning to both of you. Takeoff, I see you there as well. Rob De Beer. It's just such a good name. Neil Jackson, how you doing? Paula Boyd, Saeed. We've got Danny Jones. We've got Tyler. We've got Ebuka. We've got Josh. I can see you there, man. Paul Bamforth. Shane Wheeler, you're watching on Facebook. Kieran Watson. We've got Ian Cartwright. Mark Smith. We've got Craig Knowles. Everybody, by the way, everybody, prepare yourselves. Either later today or tomorrow in the Discord, in the Telegram communities chat, the members and just the normal chat, I'm going to be dropping in the link for the Discord a little bit later today before we fully launch tomorrow. I'm really, really so excited about it. I really, really am. But look, good morning to everybody. As I said, there's just over 60 hours left this summer. And in an ideal world, right? We'd sign 2 midfielders. We'd sell McTominay. We'd sell Maguire. We'd sell Van der Beek. We'd sell by anybody else down there? That's about right. And you're probably getting another attacker. And at this point, you're probably getting another centre back. I mean, that's not all going to happen. We all know that. But let's run through all the latest news from the last 24 hours. As always, get involved in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if you can, and you're watching, please drop a like on the video. It does make a big difference. But we've got confirmation. We've just been waiting for this, right? This one's not really a big surprise. Dean Henderson's transfer is now done. Palace are going to unveil Dean Henderson, hopefully today. Man United getting 15 million up front plus 5 mil in add-ons. It's about 10 mil less than we should have got for Dean Henderson. I think I said this yesterday. I'll do it again now. Let me do this. We find this comparison. There you go. Right. So this happened last summer as well, actually. Not this summer. So Dean Henderson there, 15 mil plus 5 mil in add-ons. Just to have context of how crap that deal is. This is from last summer, right? And I don't know why, it always sticks in my head. Gavin Bazunu left City to join Southampton. This is a guy who had not played once for City. Not played in the Premier League, not played anywhere for City. Not played for them once. And they got 12 mil, rising to 15. And we've sold Dean Henderson, who had a whole season on loan, came back to the Premier League appearances, so much. And we sell him for 3 million more. Yeah, James Trafford, a very good point there as well. James Trafford, who's I think he's joined Burnley from Man City. I can point at the Glazers and I can get angry at the Glazers. And I will, and I have done for a long, long time. But my word, our club there is so much wrong with how much we've wasted on signings over the last 10 years in terms of overspending and spending wrong. And there's so much wrong with selling players and our profitability off the back of it. That's why we're on this financial tightrope. A lot of wasted money, and we've not recouped a lot either. It's just it makes me angry, man. It makes me really angry. But Dean Henderson's going to be leaving 15 mil. We're going to be getting Bayern in for around about 5 mil. So it's going to leave around about 10 mil left over. And you think, oh, good. Money for a midfielder. Nah, not really. Because we go over to the next deal. This is not a deal that Manchester United expected to do this summer. All right. This is a curveball. And it's a curveball that could cost £7 million. Yesterday, David Ornstein confirming that Man United had submitted that proposal to sign Cucurella on loan. Now, we can have another little chat here this morning. I'll be perfectly honest, man. I think people are going way over the top in as I said, trying to get offended by the idea of signing Cucurella on loan. I really, really do. We've got confirmation here from Fabrizio Romano. Said, look, the personal terms have been agreed. Right? He wants it. Done and dusted. He wants the move. It's about agreeing that loan fee, and that's where it becomes a bit weird. And I'd said this in my video yesterday. I was like, when did it change? I don't know. There must have been a point in time where it changed, where clubs could just ask for absurd amounts of monies, an absurd amount of money for a player on loan. I swear I remember us paying like 4 or 5 million for Igalo. And now Chelsea wants 7 mil for Cucurella. Now, that's going to be their attempts at recouping some of what they paid, like 60 mil on him. They spent a lot. So I understand what they're doing. United are panicking also towards the end of the window. They're taking advantage of it. But 7 million, that's what I said, right? The difference between us selling Dean Henderson and buying Bayern is around about 10 million. And Chelsea wants 7 million of it, just so we can get a left back in on emergency loan, because Luke Shaw is injured until probably December time. Sad state of affairs for Man United's finances. And there's been so many people shouting from the rooftops, oh, FFP is just an excuse for the Glazers not to sell. It's just, it's not. We've got more money on the credit card. We just can't spend it. I know that it's not. I'm not saying the Glazers are giving us money, because they're not. We're spending it on the credit card, but there are more facilities to spend. But we can't. But Cucurella on loan, I'm going to go down and read a few of your comments here. Alex, you're saying 7 mil is his wages for the season. Is it? Well, that makes more sense. I thought it was like a loan fee plus the wages. Maybe I got that wrong. Chris Billington, or is it Chris? I don't know. You'll see Billington. It's smart business. He was brilliant at Brighton, and he will be so keen to rebuild his reputation. That's very true, actually. He must look at this and go, I tell you what. You know how one man's loss is another man's gain, opportunities and all that. Luke Shaw being injured, Cucurella goes, I thought I was just about to spend an entire season on the bench at Chelsea, and all of a sudden I'm starting for Manchester United, a team in the Champions League, and he'd be like, boom. It's a good opportunity for him. Ibuka, you completely disagree. I hate Cucurella. United should have standards and not keep signing rejects. I don't know how anybody logically has that sort of approach. Troy Davies signing mediocre players. Like, dudes, who else could we have signed on loan? I'm waiting, and I will wait here for a minute in these comments. Tell me a player who's better than Cucurella that we could have signed on loan. Don't just throw the best left backs in the world at me, because we can't afford them. Circumstances and context. I'm not sure we could have got anybody better in than Cucurella. And I'm sure there might be some of you disagree there. I'm not saying that he's... Someone's saying Bertrand. That's funny. I like that. Sergio Reguilon is better? Yeah, I don't particularly think he is. But I suppose that's a bit of an opinion. Fernandes is probably the only argument you could have. But he's a complete unknown entity. And what would happen if Fernandes came in and we would say, yeah, and then he's crap for 3 games? They'll be like, everyone like, oh, get him out. Oh, get Fernandes out. Oh, put Delo in. Oh, Delo's injured. Oh, shit, what do we do? What are we saying down here? Marcus Alonso in set pieces and crossing. Dude, nah. I won't entertain anything about Marcus Alonso. Patrice Evra. Spinazzola could have been a good one. I kind of agree on that one. Flash 5 Fletch. Is he better as a left wing back instead? He's certainly got an aggressive attacking game, which will complement United going forward. Because I tell you what, man, we've lost half of our defense. Luke Shaw and Rafael Varane both out for extended periods of time, and Martinez isn't fully fit yet. We need Martinez and Onana to have the partnership of partnerships over these next 6 weeks, man, because his rest is going to be shaky. Give Fernandes his opportunity. As I said, and I've repeated this, and I'll say it one more time. Erik ten Hag has shown the Manu situation is perfect. Manu is 2 years younger than Fernandes, and Ten Hag's given him opportunities, and he was shining. It's not about age. It's about Ten Hag and his coaches looking at the players in training going, are they ready or are they not ready? They have decided that Fernandes, despite a decent loan spell at Preston, lo and behold, ladies and gents, a loan spell at Preston does not mean you're going to be good at Manchester United. It's a good step on the ladder, but it's not proof. Ten Hag and his coaches have decided that Alvaro Fernandes and Diogo Dalot are not enough for United. And just listen to the sentence where you say it. So you're telling me that a right back who could also play left back and a 20-year-old who's never made a Premier League appearance are going to be enough for Manchester United in the Premier League and the Champions League? And those same people in the comments are going, oh, Man United got standards. Man United do this and that, and Cucurella's terrible. It's just like, make your mind up. Because Cucurella, he's experienced. If he gets back to those Brighton days, hey, geez, then we've signed a cracking player. I'm not buzzing about the idea of Cucurella. I'd rather Luke Shaw didn't get injured. I'd rather Luke Shaw was completely fit and fine. However, I think best of a bad case scenario is what I would call the signing of Cucurella. And let me see what you're saying down there. Yeah, Alvarez should be given a fair chance. As I said, and I've said this before as well, you can give attackers, young attacking players, fair chances. They'll always get opportunities. If they miss a chance, that's all right. Off you come. If a young defender comes in and makes a mistake, scrutiny straight up to level 200. You can't really make mistakes like that in defense. There's a lot less leeway for young defenders than there are young attackers breaking through. And I remember saying this before, actually. You can probably count on one hand, like the amount of defenders who have come through United's academy system and established themselves and kept themselves in the first team. There's far more like attackers and the midfielders. I don't know whether that's completely true. That's kind of what I've got in my head. But Cucurella, seriously, man, I think if people are getting offended about this, I think they're just looking for problems. Because they're already pissed off. They're already frustrated at United and what's going on. And they're going, look, Cucurella's another example. Here we go. Standards are on the floor as a club. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't know how much that loan fee is going to be, because 7 mil seems a lot to me. You might. I didn't get to read the comments down there about whether that's including all of his wages. I'm not really sure. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think I agree with Erik ten Hag on what he's doing here, in the idea that he's bringing Cucurella in. And I imagine Fernandes will probably go out on loan now. And I imagine we'll be looking at Cucurella and Diogo Dalot as our left-back options. And, of course, Malacia, we don't know when he's going to be coming back. We don't know when Luke Shaw's coming back. But it's going to be Cucurella by the looks of it. Anyway, he's accepted personal terms. United have proposed the proposal? Proposed a deal. Let's find out over the next... That shouldn't be difficult to find. There should be a nice compromise in the middle. But, of course... We're 15 minutes in, and the next 15 minutes are all going to be dedicated to the single most important thing that United need to do in these last 60 days. A midfielder. I'm worried, ladies and gents. I am worried. I think it was about, in my video I did earlier this week when I talked about Trent. In fact, let me pull this up now. Let me see what I said. I think I said I put Amrabat down as like an 8 out of 10, I think. Let's have a look. In terms of how confident I was it was going to happen. Let's have a look. What did I have? Right, I didn't do an 8 out of 10. So this is what I had down. Let me get my ugly mug off screen. I had, obviously, Henderson down as a 10 out of 10. I was confident that was going to happen. Van der Beek didn't have much confidence there. Bayer didn't have much confidence. I thought Maguire, didn't really have much confidence he'd leave either. And McTominay, maybe I'll change that after the stories that have been happening since. Fernandes, I gave an 8 out of 10 on loan. And I said, look, Bayern will happen. I didn't think Todibo would happen. I gave Amrabat a 7 out of 10. Do I stand by the 7 out of 10? I mean, the more times go by, I don't know. I get a little bit more worried that it won't happen. So I had it down as a 7 out of 10. But I tell you what, we need it, man. We really need it. I don't need to tell you that. Like, if we in the next 60 hours do not sign a midfielder, our season really is going to be one of those, like one of those proper up and down seasons where we have a good week and then we'll have a terrible week. I remember how we had loads of those under Solskjaer. Just like we'll have proper peaks and proper troughs. Injuries wise, they're bad, but they could get significantly worse. I know Casemiro's been poor overall. I mean, Casemiro's just been very isolated. He's had to cover too much ground for his physique and his age and his athletic ability. Kind of too much is being asked of him because Bruno and Mount were just kind of free for all Roman number 8s. But getting injured Casemiro, and then who you're playing in midfield. It's clear that Erik ten Hag doesn't like McTominay, but Amrabat is just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. He's sat next to the phone, just, please ring. Please ring. And you're saying you think we still need an experienced striker? Yeah, we do, but that's so far down the pecking order, man. We are not going. I had a new attacker on the board up there earlier this week. I had new attacker ? I've just switched it to maybe a surprise, maybe a nice surprise, because we could do with a nice surprise towards the end of this window. But look, Amrabat's just still sitting there waiting, and we've got enough evidence now across the course of this summer, across how everything has happened, to truly understand that finances have dictated what we've been able to do. Now, we had the budget for Mount, for Onana, and for Højlund. 3 signings that Erik ten Hag wanted and pushed for. He got them. Now, you can argue about, Mason Mount was the wrong profile, and that's not what I'm here to discuss. I'm just talking about the numbers themselves. Erik ten Hag got the 3 signings he wanted, and as soon as that happened, obviously everything kind of stopped. Now, in previous summers, what Manchester United would have done would be wait to sign those players because they're selling first. And that will be a frustration that always happened. Now, that was a bit of a switch this summer. United actually spent money before. I mean, not as if we weren't trying to sell players, but we were actually signing players relatively early compared to what we did. And that was a bit of a positive. I remember that. However, we've clearly reached that impasse. We are stuck at the bottleneck, and we've been stuck at a bottleneck for a long time. Now, if we go back to the board here, we can see, right? So we got 15 mil for Dean Henderson. We've got 500 grand for Emeren. We've got, 13 mil for Fred, includes the add-ons. I need to change that. Let's call it 8 mil. 9 mil for Kova, I think includes add-ons too. Undisclosed for Bishop and for Hardley and Savage. We've got some sales, right? We have made some money, but clearly, it's not enough. Now, John Robinson down there saying, look, can't they just overspend, get a midfielder and take the slap on the wrist? I believe it's UEFA's rules that we're applying to rather than the Premier League's. Now, I imagine if we went over it, it probably would just be a slap on the wrist, wouldn't it? I mean, Chelsea have taken their pants down, bending backwards, and just giving 2 fingers to everything, every single rule that applies. They do not care. And they're going to take any fines, and they're going to go down that legal route. It's pure Chelsea. A proper scummy little club. Proper Chelsea. Hollow indeed. Anyway, United aren't going to do that, clearly. But Scott McTominay, this is, as I said, when I saw this report came out yesterday from Germany, I was like, okay, right, okay. But then a lot more has happened since. That's what I'm going to do here and have a conversation about, because, ladies and gents, it may well be the case that McTominay is the key to whether or not we get the signings we need between now and the end of the window, which I don't know if that's completely true, but it may well be a conversation. We'll talk about it now. So it came from Build yesterday. So Bayern Munich are interested in Scott McTominay. We know that what the price is. West Ham bid 30 mil and we rejected it. I imagine if Bayern came in with that same price now, we'd accept. And that's absolutely the right thing to do. We saw that yesterday. I was like, all right, okay. But then in the Times and the Telegraph, it's now being followed up on, which is what I'm going to run through now. So this is from Paul Hurst from the Times yesterday. United could move for Højbjerg or Amrabat if they sell Scott McTominay, who is wanted by Bayern. Bayern have indicated that they will not pay United's asking price, but he remains of interest to him. And then we go to the Telegraph. Ten Hag ideally would like to recruit another midfielder before Friday's deadline, but that situation remains complicated and is likely to depend on United offloading players. McTominay has emerged as a late potential target for Bayern Munich. This is an interesting little comment here. Thomas Tuchel is an admirer of McTominay, but there appears to be differences between what Tuchel wants and what Bayern Munich wants. And it remains to be seen if a formal approach materializes. So it was yesterday in the, as I said, Build in Germany, and I was looking at it going, I'm going to wait until there's more on that. And then the Telegraph and the Times have both followed that up. I'm going to ask, I think I'm going to do this as today's poll, right? Let me pull this up. 1 second here. Do you think McTominay joins Bayern? McTominay goes to Bayern Munich. All right. That's the question. I didn't really think we'd be asking this question. Yeah, I put it down. What did I put it down as? I put it down as like a 4 or 5 out of 10. I personally would still be very surprised. I look at Bayern Munich's options. I mean, they've got incredible midfield talent in terms of like moving forward, like the number 8 positions. Not really particularly strong in the number 6 positions. But Scott McTominay is not a number 6. Don't tell Bayern, by the way, that Scott McTominay does not play as a number 6. His natural position is a number 8. If it happens, it has to be this, right? Big up Parry, by the way, who made this little cool graphic. I think it's a wicked little graphic. If they want McTominay and they don't see a place for Gravenberch in the squad, then surely, this is just a nice little straight loan deal for both. No need to really get money involved. Wages will be covered. Well, if it's there or thereabouts. Just a loan deal. There's no need for any finances to be involved. And therefore, it ticks Man United's cheapskate box. I'm confused on that one. If Bayern Munich really are genuinely interested in McTominay, Man United have got a foot in the door, man. It's so easy to have that conversation. Surely. I don't know. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. Akil saying, get this deal done and buy Amrabat. Wow, I've been saying that for a long old time. Cricket Crazy, I'm telling you, McTominay's not number 6. That's why I'm confused as to why these reports exist, but they exist now in multiple sources. Hence why we're having a conversation about it. I wouldn't normally do a story like this if it was just in Build and nothing else, but it's been corroborated by the Telegraph and the Times. That's why we're talking about it. Scott's only going if we bring in Amrabat and Gravenberch, but that can't happen now. It'll go the other way around. We can't get Gravenberch or Amrabat unless McTominay goes. Damn. And you think that Cucurella is going to be the only in? To be fair, it's not like you to. It's not like you to ever have an optimistic view about anything, and you know that's true. I fingers crossed. I'm not massively optimistic at this point in time. I'll be honest. There's 60 hours left, and I don't really know what's going on. I'm hoping there's going to be an explosion of activity, because it has to be. It will literally have to be an explosion of activity now, because I'm looking at. What do I want to happen? I want 2 midfield signings. That's not going to happen. And look, we've got to talk about what could happen next in terms of centre-backs. I'm going to see what the poll is saying down here, right? Do you think that McTominay could be joining Bayern Munich? Let's see what the poll says. 500 votes there in 2 minutes. What a community, man. 58% of you are saying no, and 42% of you are saying yes. I personally don't think it will happen. Just an opinion. Kieran, you're saying, why can't we get Gravenberch on loan and swap McTominay for Amrabat? I don't know if Fiorentina want Amrabat. The easier one there is to get McTominay for Gravenberch. Oh, you're interested in my player? I'm interested in your player. Yeah, should we? Yeah, go on then. Free loan deal? No. Yeah, go on then. Woohoo. Easy. Well, it sounds easy on paper. John, there's absolutely no noise coming from the club right now. You can look at that as one of two ways. It could be a good or a bad thing. I'd probably say it's a bad thing, but maybe United are keeping it all behind closed doors. I'm trying to find the optimistic angle there. Not really sure. But this is just the truth. This is just the ultimate truth. And again, some people might not want to believe it. It's just the Glazers, blah, 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 blah. The profit and sustainability of our football club has been in the pits for years. We've lost like over 200 million as a business. Yes. Revenues might be decent, but we're losing money. I've been for a long time. That's why I looked at this summer. I remember us having conversations at the start of the summer going, United can genuinely get in excess of £100 million for player sales. Currently, just over 50. We're just over 50 million. I thought we should be getting somewhere in the region of 100 to 150 million in sales. And that wasn't even me being overly optimistic. That was me putting fair valuations on players that should have been sold. Have we done that? Everything else falls into place this summer. Everything else. Yeah, but we haven't. Maguire's still here. McTominay's still here. Nothing on Martial. Van der Beek somehow is still here. Bailly somehow is still here. We had to send Williams out on loan. And by the way, Brandon Williams on loan to Ipswich Town. Man United are heavily subsidizing his wages. We haven't just loaned him out. We're paying for him not to play for our club. Damn. Deary me. It's the sad truth. And spoiler alert, until we get new owners and a new structure of our football club, these issues will keep resurfacing until we get the right people in charge of those decisions at club level. I don't know if Manchester United are going to get any better at selling players. This summer was the summer to show that we could do it, and we haven't. There have been failures. John Murtough, in my opinion, in that sense, has just not done well enough. Who is it? Andy O'Boyle we brought in. I can't remember the name of the other bloke. Andy O'Boyle was brought in as his assistant. There was a Matt Judge replacement as well. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. Was that Will Keane's brother? Was it? I can't remember. Either way, it's frustrating, man. As I said, I remember how optimistic I was after we completed the Højlund deal. Type it in the comments, right? A little bit of a prediction. What do you think you're going to be rating the transfer window out of 10? Matt Hargreaves, that's it, by the way, thank you. What do you think we're going to be rating the transfer window out of 10 in 60 hours' time? What do you honestly think we're going to be doing? And you... Cuck is a very different thing. Let's not talk about Cuck. But Cucurella's different. Stop being so negative. I saw that comment and made me laugh. Martin is saying Varane to miss this weekend, but not 6 weeks. Don't know who's saying that. I'm going to be speaking there. Let me read. I'm going to go through. I'm just going to pull up your comments here on screen, right? Let me see what you're saying. Maddie, you're going to give it a 6. John, you're giving it a 3. Ibuki, you're giving it a 5. Adam, you're giving it a 7. I think that's pretty generous. Adam, you're giving it a 3, a 5, a 6. Ant, you're giving it a 4. Sigmund, a 4. A 4 there, a 7 there, a 5. I think I'd have to sit right in the middle. I'd probably have to sit at a 5 because I'm not going to try and pretend that Onana and Højlund aren't both great signings. Well, I can't even say whether Højlund is a great signing yet. He's not even kicked the ball for the club yet. I'm optimistic about Højlund. And Mason Mount, I'm reserving my judgment just for now. I'm going to have to go for a 5. I think we needed so much more with player sales. And I tell you what, like that, you know, when it rains, it pours and all that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Raphael Varane, yesterday, so I'm being told now that Raphael Varane's only going to miss this weekend. He won't miss longer. Let me see what's being said. Man, nothing really has been said on that at this moment in time. We got reports yesterday suggesting that Varane's injury is going to rule him out for 6 weeks. Well, up to 6 weeks. Raphael Varane getting injured was an absolute guarantee this season. Guarantee. And that's not Captain Hindsight speaking. All right? It was a guarantee. The style of play that we have now and the intensity of it, injuries are more likely. I mean, we've seen that. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, right? But he's going to be out for the Arsenal game, and he's going to be out for a little bit longer. But if you looked at Varane's injury that he sustained against Chelsea last season, that wasn't an impact injury either. That was like an overextension, and I think he'd done his hamstring. Varane, bookmark it, Varane's going to get injured at some point later this season. He's going to pull up with something else. Because of the physical demands of this style of play. It's why the idea of Maguire going out and Todibo coming in would be like, man, you've got some security there. You've got some squad depth. And that's why Maguire's not leaving, right? Maguire is not leaving because Ten Hag can't afford now for Maguire to be gone without a replacement. And West Ham have pulled their 30 mil bid away, and they wanted to get him on loan. So we can't let West Ham take Maguire on loan because we can't bring anyone in. If Maguire left, our centre-backs would be Varane, who's now injured, Martinez, who's not 100%, and Lindelof. And Johnny Evans. Maybe. It's as much as Maguire was first on my sell list. You can't sell him now. Teden Mengi, you could, man, you're like, come on, man. Teden Mengi's not going to come in and be a centre-back option for United. He's more likely to go back out on loan. Don't forget Eric Bailly. Oh. Now you're making me negative. People talking about Eric Bailly, people talking about Teden Mengi. It's like, come on, guys. I'm looking upwards, not downwards. That is looking downwards. That is looking backwards. Jeez. But yeah, that's so Maguire staying because of that. And this for me is the biggest concern I have of this whole team right now is the fitness and the conditioning. It's easily the biggest concern I have. I know that we're not putting chances away, and I'm hoping that Rasmus Højlund comes in and will alleviate those problems. I'm hoping he comes in, helps our attacking shape. We start becoming a bit more clinical in front of goal, and it will definitely change the course of the games. But Mason Mount was first. Luke Shaw was second, and now Raphael Varane is third. That's 3 muscular injuries. Mount was 4 to 6 weeks. Shaw could be anywhere. It could be like 2 to 3 months. And Varane, anything up to 6 weeks. All right. So we don't know the length of that injury. But all 3 of these are due to poor fitness and conditioning. And we've seen it in our performances. Wolves ran us ragged. Spurs, second half, ran us ragged. Forest, we hardly had any control whatsoever. Now, I'm guessing, right? I'm not guessing. I know. Man United are going to be slightly fitter this week against Arsenal than they were last week. We've had a whole nother week of training, but it's almost like we're doing pre-season fitness training in the season after we've just had a full pre-season. It's very strange. These injuries, I would say, it's the biggest concern I have at our club at the moment, in this moment in time, and I'm hoping that week on, and maybe the international break will help us and do us good, but not really because the players aren't going to be there. Because if you look, as I said, look at our injury list, man. Jeez. Rasmus Højlund, our new signing, who we signed with a broken back. Manasseh, we have no idea how long he's out for. Ahmad, we still have no idea there. Kobbie Mainoo, that was an impact one. Tom Heaton. Forgot about Tom Heaton. What's happened to him? Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, Rafa Varane. Daniel Ford, did you not watch the Forest game apart from the first 5 minutes? We dominated. Did you not watch the Forest game? Did you not see Manchester? Look, I'm not saying we didn't dominate because Forest sat there with a 2-0 lead, dude. And they went into shape and it didn't work for them. Then what happened in the last 10 minutes when we were 3-2 up? Forest were dominating us with 10 men because we sat into shape. We're not controlling any. There's not one game we've controlled. The best football we've played this season was the first half against Spurs. And we didn't get anything for it. And then we absolutely collapsed in the second half. Yeah, man, I'm definitely worried about the fitness and the injuries. Al Mac, how about some good news? I wish I could come with some good news. You know what I mean? I'll always find the positive angle. But as it stands, like, I think the next 60 hours are going to define what this season is for United. And that's a real sad state of affairs because it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be... Ignore the Cucurella situation, right? This Cucurella situation is completely and utterly different. That's an unexpected injury right at the end of a window. Shit, got to go out and sign someone. Cool. That is panicking, but I can understand that panic, right? Any club would do the same in this situation. But it's the fact that we're still scrambling and scrambling and scrambling for a midfielder that we've been crying out for over 6 weeks. And still with 60 hours left, we're still scrambling. That's frustrating. And I think it all ties into what we know it ties into. Hey, where is that? That one. We've not raised as much money. I'm going to read a few of your comments out because I feel like I'm moaning. I don't like to moan. Sometimes I do. You'll be happy with that. Sam, with this deal with McTominay and Gravenberch is something real or speculation? Is this a swap in fact being discussed? No, nothing's being discussed. It's speculation, the idea that McTominay could go there and Gravenberch could come here. But Gravenberch, Man United have been in contact with Bayern Munich weeks ago. Right? And now we're hearing that McTominay might be interested for them. You're thinking, oh, okay. Right, okay, nice. Amrabat, 11 p.m. deadline day signing. Don't do that to me, United. Please don't do that to me. Can't rule it out, though. And in some... misery loves company, right? All this news broke yesterday that I say news broke. Cameroon released their squad list for their upcoming African Cup of Nations qualifier against Burundi. I think this is like a straight knockout. I think whoever wins this qualifies for the African Cup of Nations. But of course, you will see a certain name on that list. Hui. Andre Onana. Right? You're thinking, hold on. Thought Andre Onana retired from international football. And then you're seeing now Manchester United are at risk of losing Andre Onana to the African Cup of Nations. But Onana was quick to go on to Instagram yesterday and we put this out. Les mensonges donnent des fleurs, mais pas des fruits. Yeah, that's some accurate French. Lying gives flowers, but no fruit. God knows what. I don't know. There's some cryptic stuff there. But we don't know whether Onana is going to actually accept a return to the Cameroon squad. All right. Cameroon have called him up. But remember that the reason he fell out, the reason he doesn't play for Cameroon anymore is he fell out with Rigobert Song, who's the manager, who's still the manager. So I don't really think he would change his mind on that. But the suggestion is, well, not a suggestion. Cameroon had tried to force the issue. They've called him up to it. We don't know whether he's going to accept that call up, right? What are we saying down here in the comments? As long as Harry Maguire stays back, you can imagine how good this transfer has been. Oh, I can't wait for some positive news. Hey, positive news. Who wants a bit of positive news? Come on, then. Wait. Yeah, last night, the PFA Player of the Year Awards. There were two United winners. Rashford was named PFA Fans Player of the Year. Congratulations to Marcus. But also, not really many people are talking about this. A certain Amad Diallo, there he is. Amad Diallo was named the Young Fans Player of the Year in the Championship. Big up to Amad for that. And big up to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, MBE. Last year, he won the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year Award. He won the Players Player of the Year Awards. Now he's won the PFA Fans Player of the Year Award. Jeez. Now, Rashford, if you can get back to your best. Last game against Forest, Rashford was directly involved in all 3 goals. And I still think he can offer so much more. That's why I can't wait to see what Rashford does when Haaland's in the team, because I think the balance of that team is going to make a big difference. And yeah, man, congratulations to Ahmed. He really had a cracking season on loan at Sunderland. I think he finished their top scorer. Just missed out on the, well, did they make the playoffs? I think they made the playoffs and then lost. I think they lost the playoffs. Either way, Ahmed, I'm looking forward to seeing him coming back. Man, two really exciting youth prospects, both Ahmed and Mainu. This could have been their breakthrough start of the season. Instead, man, we need Mainu in this team, man. Jeez. Sad as it is. Let's have a look at the poll then. Let's go back to this bad boy. Do you think... Hey, there he is. Remember the right tab. Do you think that McTominay is going to be going to Bayern Munich? We've got 1,100 votes. Can I just say we've got 1,100 votes, which means that 700 of you have voted, but you haven't liked the video. Can you seriously just like the video? I don't know why. I feel weird asking so much, but I find it even more weird that people don't just like the video. You're enjoying it. You're engaging it. Just drop a like in the video. It makes a big difference. It shows YouTube that you enjoy it. It's good for the community. But 56% of you have said no. I'll be honest. I think I'm in the same gang as 50. I'm with the 56%. I personally don't think that Scott McTominay is going to be going to Bayern Munich. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love McTominay because it's obvious that McTominay is not in Ten Hag's plans, man. Saying that, I think he could start against Arsenal on Sunday, purely from a physicality perspective. And there was a comment there. Was it from Andy? Or David is saying, look, Gravenberch on loan, keep McTominay for the squad depth. I think McTominay could start on Sunday because of his physicality. Andy, you're down there. Thank you very much, Super Chat, dude. You're saying you're afraid of Sunday. And man, you're not the only one. But I'll tell you what, Arsenal aren't exactly flying right now. Obviously, the drop points against Fulham. Had a shaky start to the season. Thomas Partey playing right back. Who's our left winger? Marcus Rashford up against Thomas Partey. Make it rain, dude. Make it rain. Although I don't know whether they're going to actually play Thomas Partey right back. But majority of you do not think that McTominay is going to leave. And I'll be honest, I do agree with you. But I hope I'm wrong. Last couple of minutes, fire in your questions. Anything that I haven't spoken about. A quick summary for everybody who's just tuning in. Where have you been? Cucurella, we've got here. Man United have submitted the proposal. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that personal terms are already agreed, but it's about that loan fee. We need to find out a compromise on that. I don't think that's going to be difficult to find. I imagine we'll probably get that done today. Let's find out. But the big one we're all waiting for is a midfielder. As it stands, there's still no movement on it. Still not. Staggered every day that there isn't movement on it. McTominay to Bayern might be a conversation that could be happening. I didn't think we'd be having. But that's where the needle moves, because United simply do not have any money. Wayne, you're saying, I'll be getting a surprise signing before the window closes. I've got it written on the board here, Wayne. Surprise with 6 question marks. I'd like a surprise, a pleasant surprise. I don't know whether we're going to get it. I really don't know. Petey saying, any word on the Greenwood situation? As far as the last I heard was but obviously the deadline closes on Friday at 11 p.m. for a large portion of European clubs. So if Greenwood doesn't leave on loan before then he can only, I think there's like 6 or 7 different windows that are still open, but Italy will be closed, for example. France, Spain, Germany. Tyler, what surprise signing would I like? I would like Todibo. I would like a centre-back. That would be the surprise that I want. I know that we need another striker out there, but we've got a brand new 70 million euro striker that hasn't even kicked a ball yet. We don't have that sort of prospect coming into our defence. I think defence is going to be where our bigger... across the course of this season, I think we're going to have more issues with our defence than I think we're going to have with our attack. At the start of the season, we've just had issues with both, and we've managed to get 2 wins out of it. But I think that if I was going to get a surprise signing, it would definitely be a centre-back. Score prediction. It's only Wednesday, mate. The game's not until Sunday. I'll get my starting 11. I'll get my starting 11 out on Friday. Because, of course, tomorrow we've got the Champions League live draw. I'm going to be here, by the way, doing it live and direct, interactive with all of you. Who will United get in the Champions League? It's exciting. It always is exciting. Richard, do you think Ten Hag will feel let down after such a great start? I think he'll be frustrated with the club's finances and the position that he's in. I think Ten Hag and his coaching staff have to look inwards. I think the fitness and conditioning isn't good enough. And as much as I can blame the preseason, and I will blame the preseason and the amount that we traveled X, Y, Z, it's still very strange for a man who is a very intense manager. Not in a horrible way, but he's intense. His training methods are intense. For all of that to go, and for the players to not look fit enough. It's the intensity level, isn't it? It's like it's turned down to like 20% right now. It needs to be cranked up to like 70, 80. If we play like that against Arsenal, it'll be like men against boys. It really, really will be. You're all asking what time the draw is. The draw, if I remember correctly, it's 5:30 p.m. UK time on Thursday, right? I think that's when it is. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for dropping a like on the video and for interacting with the show, all your comments, all your super chats. As I said, make sure if you're part of the Telegram members community, check it out. I'm going to drop the link for the Discord in there today, and tomorrow I'm going to bring it to everybody. And then everyone can join and we can make it the single best Discord community out there. And trust me, you are going to love it. I put so much work into this. And so has Joe, has Carlos, has Max, has Ronnie. Loads and loads of people have been helping. Big up to all of you. I'll see you hopefully later today. Well, I'm going to get my lunchtime video out. I'm not sure what the angle is. But hopefully another extra live later after we put in a bid for Gravenberch or Amrabat. Fingers crossed. Or Todibo. I'm not fussy.